spoke to them, and at that point, somehow, she was told that there was this whole story about there were barricaded hostages.
That you had hostages inside?
I don't think they referred to eyewitness video specifically, but they went up on the second floor of that building, and they came right in front of our door. And we were able to see one of our group members saw the police were there next door talking to people and became concerned, and we notified the legal office. We were inside. We had the door locked, and because there's no peephole in that door, we had a little closed-circuit camera, and so we looked at this little image, sort of just about half a police officer's body, and we were just, we knew they were outside the door, and we didn't know what it meant. When I called the attorney who was outside and speaking to the police, and when she related this tale that there were barricaded hostages, that's what the police were saying, we had about, I don't know, half a dozen of us in that room, and we were just dumbfounded. I mean, it's just dumbfounded. It's just a completely insane
Why are you in St. Paul?
We're in St. Paul to document the demonstrations around the Republican convention, and including particularly the policing. And we're seeking to understand how the demonstrations are policed and how the whole actually federal apparatus works of surveillance and things like that.
Can you explain your role in the RNC documentation project in 2004? 1,800 people were arrested. You have thousands of videotapes from that time? Thousands or hundreds?
No, not thousands. there's hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them.
And what were they used to do in terms of lawsuits?
Well, we worked with the New York City chapter of the National Lawyers Guild directly on the criminal defense of people who are arrested. And what we discovered was that the police had lied so thoroughly and so often that if you were able to take the police statements, the police affidavits of the charges, and put them up against the video, that many times the cases completely fell apart.
How many cases fell apart?
We say that there's 400 criminal cases directly that were the charges were dropped or there was an acquittal, directly related, solely related to video evidence.
Now, the New York police are working with the St. Paul and Minneapolis police. They work with the police in Denver. Do you think there's a relationship between so many of the cases, hundreds of cases, falling apart based on evidence that you had in New York, now in St. Paul, not wanting the cases, the stories, the arrests documented like this?
Well, one has to wonder. I mean, this is an extraordinary amount of pressure to put on us. What happened yesterday really ratcheted up the stakes because, they came in with the warrant even though it had the wrong address the other day, and we had guns pointed at us. And then yesterday... In that case, we got there on Saturday.
Yeah, I asked a police officer about the weapons. He said, yes, there was an AR-15 automatic rifle there.
But the police were carrying.
Right. They came in at you on Saturday with a pistol drawn?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They had loaded
Bruce Nestor, what about the significance of saying perhaps if there are hostages inside, wouldn't that give them a legitimate right to shoot?
It would. It allows them to enter without a warrant in that type of situation.
So that's the key, without a warrant.
That's the basis, I would believe, for that type of allegation, yes.
Are you concerned about what's happening here?
You look at a pattern of the Glass Bead Collective being arrested, or another group of videographers. You look at eyewitness video being targeted twice. You look at the sweep arrests of journalists, the targeting of other journalists. You also have to understand in Minneapolis back in August of 2007, we had a critical mass bike ride where 19 people were charged with these probable cause riot charges. Only 5 people, of course, were ever formally charged with anything. A case that went to trial, actually a person with the RNC welcoming committee was acquitted because video evidence showed the officers lying. Another client of mine charged with various gross misdemeanors. Cases were dismissed because the video showed officers were lying. So local police have the same experience that they've had in New York City. They're working with the police in New York City. I mean, I can't have any concrete evidence that they're saying, let's go get eyewitness video, but you got to start to ask the question, why are they repeatedly going after these same people when the work has been so effective in responding to police abuses?
I want to thank you both for being with us. We're going to go inside the convention now. Bruce Nestor, president of the Minnesota chapter of the National Lawyers Guild, and Eileen Clancy. She is the founder of Eyewitness Video. We will continue to document how they are able to document things here through the end of this convention. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org. We're breaking with convention. Back in a minute.